And we're back. We're back. Optimistic Struggles,
Woo!
episode 2. Joe Rogan, we're coming after you. Watch out, my friend. You have no chance against us. Oh, well.
Got nothing.
Fun and games, eh? But if you're listening to us, Joe, you're a champion. Give us a shout out. We need more viewers.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Be at the start of our career.
Yeah, that's the one. How you been, Devon?
I mean, good, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Working hard,
Yeah.
hardly working, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's how we roll. So fake it till
Exactly.
you
How you
make
been?
it. Yeah, good. Busy. Everything's ramping up. Got a few things on the go. But nah, all well. So what's this episode about, Dev?
Oh, this episode is all about facing your fears. Yeah. It's all
Fears.
pretty full on conversations to have on our second podcast. That's the word I was looking for. Can't even handle.
Yeah, we like to hit the big topics.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we get into
over
it,
fears really was what
that's the one.
facing
That's
fears.
the one. Before we get into the meaty part of the topic for the day, there was a question from last time from Isaac Cooper on the stream. So thought we'd address it and see just our thoughts on it to close off the last session, and then we'll hit it hard for this one. Cool. So I'll just read it off. A question for next time, my bros. For me, I feel like productivity and massive progress towards my goals seems to come and go in waves. How can I ride those waves of progress for longer? And how do you get back on track when you notice you have slipped off track? Cheers, Isaac.
It's a big question.
Thoughts?
Well,
words of wisdom.
For me, talking about the ebbs and flows of progress and how sometimes you really are doing a lot of work, and then there's other times when productivity kind of goes out the window. Kind of sounds like a little bit of the classic motivation sort of line. Today I'm lacking motivation. Today I've got motivation. Today I'm lacking motivation. And to me, motivation isn't actually really what's important. It's all about structure and consistency. So similar, I'm going to bring it back into training because I'm not sure if you realize I'm a personal trainer.
We can tell by those big muscles of yours. You must be in the fitness industry. You can hardly fit on the screen, mate.
No, that's just the camera's too small. I need to upgrade my camera.
Zoom out, mate.
I'll just put it back a bit. Here we go. But yeah, I think when it comes to being productive. That's the word I was looking at. I was about to say something. It really is about consistency rather than, I guess, motivation to exactly as kind of where the consistency creates the motivation, if that makes sense. So I think when it comes down to productivity, once you get on a roll, it's really easy to stay on that roll until something kind of sideline and swipes you. So similar to what we talked about last week I was talking about to-do lists and having a to-do list to kind of help yourself get through each task. Because it's very common, especially when you're owning a business, and I know, Isaac, that you are starting up your own business, that it's so easy for so many different jobs to be like pew, 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 jumping at you at all sides. You've always got to be able to come back to what you were doing if something does pop up. And having that to-do list is really good, but then also that structure throughout the day. So, right, 9 till 10, I'm going to get my admin out of the way. 10 till 12, I'm going to work on my marketing. 12 till 4, I'm going to do whatever your job needs to do. So having a bit of structure so you're kind of focusing. And if you ever have meetings, your own training sessions, anything like that, it's really important to put them into your day and put that into your calendar as well, because not getting in your exercise, that can decrease productivity. So you've got to keep yourself mentally fit as well as physically fit. That's my thoughts on it.
Nice one. Nice. Yeah, I think we all go through highs and lows. Like, I'm not a huge believer in like the Gary V model where you've got to work 30 hours a day and sleep 1 hour a night and like it's go all the time. Like, some people are wired like that, good on them. I think that's the minority rather than the majority. So this advice is more tailored to the majority. So I think a lot of it is about momentum. So if you haven't done something before and it's your first time doing it, it can be hard to get going and start on the right track. It sometimes feels like one step forward, two steps back, but just by doing the things at the start, it will often you'll stumble across problems and you'll have to find solutions to it because it's just not sustainable to go one step forward, two steps back. But in going through that process, you'll learn stuff and find more efficient ways of going about things so that then you can actually gain a bit of momentum and you can start moving forward. And this goes for all aspects, whether it's your financial life, your fitness, your relationship, social life, whatever it might be. If you stick to that consistency, as you talked about, Dev, then you can actually start moving forward, and along the way you'll actually enjoy that momentum. So you will actually you won't want to stop. So like often I find the hardest is at the start with these things, but then as you build up a habit, you'll find a natural routine, and then things will just fall into place, and you'll just carry on with that momentum, and you'll find bigger goals and bigger feats to accomplish, and that way you'll stay motivated and you'll keep climbing. But when you stop, often, like, let's draw it back to training, when you stop training and you start eating that sugary food or that fatty food, then you get into a bit of a rut and you have to start that process all over again. So if you just build that momentum, then that helps with the ebbs and flows. Also, like, sometimes you're going real hard and you're finding that you're just not that motivated about what you're doing anymore, and that's cool too. I think that you can change directions. Like, sometimes something internally just doesn't vibe, and that's okay too. Like, that internal compass might be telling you that you're in the wrong thing. So yeah, hope that answered your question, Isaac. But yeah, my thoughts from that last question off the last podcast. Cool.
So
what business does Isaac have?
I can't remember exactly what his business is, but I'm from memory, it's along in the kind of IT sort of forum. He might actually be able to tell us, but yeah, I'm not. I remember having a conversation with him about a year ago, so it's been a while since I've had that conversation with him, and then I had a concussion in that time, so
And you
the
forgot
memory is not the
everything.
greatest.
No, it's all good.
If
all
you
good.
don't know something, blame it on the concussion.
Sounds like what's happening with COVID at the moment. If anything's going wrong with your life or business or anything like that,
COVID's the big ticket.
Just
it's definitely that.
having a really hard time with COVID at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard it way
all
too
right,
many
let's
times.
get into it. Getting over fears. Big topic.
It's
a biggie.
Yeah, so this was all because of what you said to me last week, Jason.
What did I say? I've forgotten.
Do you not remember what you said? So you were saying
my selective Alzheimer's is playing up.
It was to do with your daily Jace. When you first started it, it was something to do with you were not the biggest fan of talking on an online presence, and that like was to build you up. And I was like, that's a brilliant topic. You have that one nugget. This could be
full of wisdom. Man, not just a pretty face. No. Like, when I started the Daily Jace, it was just, I didn't like jumping on video, and like, I didn't like how I sounded on video, and I didn't like how I was always saying and all the time. I say a lot still, but now I just don't give a toss, and I just do it anyway, you know. So it's, I think the best way sometimes to learn to swim is to jump into a shark infested pool and see where you land, you know? Just so if I just post it. So the daily Jace was actually meant to be daily, despite how infrequent it is at the moment.
It started off daily.
It did start off daily. It did. And it probably lasted a couple of months daily. And that, like, the video production quality was horrendous. Like there were sometimes the sound wasn't great. There's times the lighting wasn't great. But like the goal was just to push it out, and then like the thought of having something online didn't bother me anymore, no matter how rubbish it was. And I learned from all that, like how to put out content that did look good. You've got to have good lighting. You've got to have sound. This is what this mic is for, you know. This now I've got a bit more tech in the toolkit to help me out, and hopefully more people listen, because the early stage stuff, it was horrendous. Check it out on YouTube. It's all up there. I'm not ashamed of it.
I've got a lot to learn because the lighting's terrible. My speakers.
Top tip for young players: there's an acronym that any people who want to start a YouTube channel should know. It's called ALVIS. So A is for audio, L is for lighting, S is for stability, and V is for video. Sort those things out, and then you've got a studio quality production setup.
Good to know.
Not saying I'm perfect, but that's the acronym that I learned off someone on YouTube, and it's helped me.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So, getting over fears. What was your earliest fear, do you reckon? Like going way back.
Earliest fear. I would say, because I'm just checking my Mental Health Monday that I posted up, I think it was being afraid of dogs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who would have so most people know me as like a bit of a dog lover. And I've always wanted, well, not always wanted a dog, but I used to have my family had a dog. And then one day I was at I can't remember whose farm it was, but it was a family friend or a family relative or something. And I was playing with one of the dogs, and I was probably 6 or 7. And I didn't realize that when you're a kid, dogs like can be a little bit feisty. And he was done with playing. We'd playing ball before that, and he kind of walked off, and he was like, "Right, I'm done now." And I kept trying to get him to come back. So I ended up coming up thinking that he was sad. Went up and gave him a big hug, and he got a bit of a fright, and he just gave me a little nip on the face. To me, at the time, it was the most terrifying thing I've probably ever been through. And I was screaming. My parents were freaking out. The owners of the dog were freaking out because they were like, "Oh my God, our dog's bitten this boy." My parents were like, "Nah, it's all right. He's just being a baby." I was fine. Like there was no blood. There was nothing. Like the dog would just got in a fright. And it was more to do with the fact that I didn't understand how to treat a dog when it was a bit older and like needed to have its own attention, sort of thing. Plus back then it was a lot less supervision from your parents when you were playing with dogs. But I probably didn't go near dogs for another, like, apart from my own dog, because I knew who he was, but any other person's dog, I just freaked out, and the dogs could smell it. So all of a sudden, all these other dogs started like being quite like aggressive towards me. Sheepdog tried to attack me on my way to school once. All sorts. So it just kind of kept on tenfolding. And then one day I decided I didn't want to be scared of dogs anymore. So I made it my mission to introduce myself to every dog that I met and be friends with them. And still to this day, I have a little bit of like a tensing. So if a dog's got like a really aggressive bark, or if it kind of plays a bit too rough, I get like a little bit of, I guess, anxiety around the fact.
Or if it looks like a wolf and it's the size of a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played with a dog that was like like St. Bernie's Mountain Dog or something like that. And holy, like it was the most playful thing in the world, but it's like bark, it's huge. And yeah, just kind of but I've always had this thing ever since then. If I'm afraid of something, I run headfirst towards it rather than running away from it. So I just chucked up my mental health Monday about half an hour before we jumped online tonight, and it was about facing fears because that was the topic for tonight. And I've got a whole list of them. I used to be afraid to hold babies because I thought I'd break them.
Hold babies.
Plus, I was so when my sister-in-law had her baby, probably just about over a year ago, I was like, nah, I'm not holding the baby. Not holding the baby. I think it was about 6 hours in, I was holding the baby. They kind of forced upon me a little bit. But then the other aspect on that one is I used to be, if I hold a baby and show emotion, I'm not manly enough. So that's another topic for another day.
That is definitely a topic for another day.
Yeah, but and then used to be afraid of heights, so I started jumping off things.
I had that one.
Bungee jumping. Afraid of fish.
Afraid of fish.
Still don't like fish. Fish freak the shit out of me.
You eat fish?
So I went fishing. I eat fish. I just don't like touching fish. Like I like looking at them; they're cool, but I don't want to touch them. Like, no, thank you. So diving, that always freaks me out. Actually, quite a funny story.
Here we
I was
go.
down in Jack's Bay when fishing with a bunch of guys from underwater hockey, and we're on the boat and pulled up a cod. Pretty sure it was a cod, and got it up on the line, flapping around. I was like, all right, so what do I do now? And they're like, you got to grab it. And I'm pretty sure I had to like grab the gill or something like that and pull like the gill out to like kill the fish like quickly and humanely, sort of thing. Couldn't do it. I was like, nah, can't, because they had little sharp teeth and it was all slimy and it was like flipping around. And the guys who I played underwater hockey with, you never know. Could have like nibbled my finger off. So the guys who the guys who I was with, they knew me as the guy who was, I was one of the older boys at underwater hockey, and they were all a little bit younger than me. So I think they kind of thought of me as this big, tough, scary guy who used to beat them up on the bottom of the pool because I was a little bit bigger with them. And then they saw me freaking out about killing a fish, and they were like, "What the hell?" And then kind of dawned on me then that fish was not my friends. So made the effort to go diving, made the effort to go on a few more fishing trips. Just general anything that slightly freaks me out. I prefer to run straight to it. Needles, don't like needles, so I donate blood as often as I can.
Good on you, mate.
Just don't look at the needle. That's always a easy way to go about that one.
Yeah,
got a massive bruise from the last time I did it, actually. So
true. Were you squealing about?
Yeah. Don't hurt me.
Yeah,
slap it away.
Oh no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good you donate. We need more people too.
Yeah, well, being O positive, apparently my blood's quite an important blood.
I was O neg, and I donate frequently, but then I must have caught something. They found a antibody in my blood that meant I couldn't donate again. So,
oh no,
O neg's the universal donor for those that don't know. I used to also be able to donate to babies in utero, so that was pretty cool. But that was my old blood. My new blood sucks. They won't accept it.
Yeah,
it makes the machines
That's crazy.
go off. Yeah. So,
wow.
I need to find a new way a new altruistic behavior to fill the void.
Yeah. I'm sure you can find the void some way.
Yeah.
What would you say your earliest fear was?
Earliest, so I was in this kayaking lesson with a school group, and I think I was like year 6 or something. And what happened was we had these spray skirts, and they told us all you have to do is push out of your kayak if you capsize. So we're all going to practice capsizing. So they got us in the boats. We're paddling about, and they're like, right, time to capsize. So they capsized us, and I was underwater, and like I tried to push out, couldn't do it, couldn't find the little strap you pull to like get out of the boat. So I was stuck underwater. This is little Jace who tried to get air, like trying to doggy paddle up the side to come up for air, couldn't do it. So yeah, I was pretty afraid of like the water and kayaking for a while. But yeah, like jump in the deep end and do it again until you. I was probably proper freaked out for like 6 months. Yeah, this was when I was like nine, maybe 9. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then girls freaked me out when I was young.
That's probably going to all boys school.
2 brothers. I only went to a boys' school, and it was fun for like sport and stuff, but I didn't know how to socialize with girls, and still don't to this day. No, can talk to them. But no, it was get like I just didn't know what to talk about. It was weird. Went to parties and stuff, and like there were girls around, but like 11-year-old Jason, like he had no clue.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's amazing.
Their social struggles when they're going through their teens. So yeah, there was an interesting period, fun times. What else? Heights, like you mentioned. Really love the feeling of the adrenaline. But far out scares me. Like I've done bungee, I've done skydiving. Love it. Heaps of fun once I've jumped. Before I've jumped, far out. Like the heart's going, I'm sweating, pupils are dilated, my mind's flying everywhere. What the hell am I doing? I'm in full survival mode.
I can't believe you jumped off the 10-meter at Corburnie Pool then.
Oh, that was a story. Yeah, I think so. I forgot about that. So what was it? Was it because you challenged me, or like I think someone jumped off the 6-meter?
For sure it was Seb or Luke.
Someone jumped off the 6-meter, and
they did a flip off it.
Me, I just thought I wanted to like beat it and like go hundies that day. So yeah, jumped up on the 10-meter. That freaked me out. And the silly thing was that I was standing up there. So here's my head, here's my toes. I look over the edge with my head and see how high it was. Like I remember the lump in my throat coming up. Like I was frozen. But I saw everyone watching. They were like ants down below. Like, and I thought, I've got to give them a good show now. Like I'm up here, and I thought, okay, I'll dive and I'll really like show everyone that I can do this. So I went for the dive, and I didn't even jump. I just like leant forward, but I over rotated. Do you remember that? And I landed square on my back. And I had this like strip of redness up the middle, and
it was it was raised.
Yeah, the lifeguard was about
outline on your back.
Yeah,
we were about to jump
it was red on both sides and just white and raised in the middle, and like it winded me. It was one of the most stupid things I think I've ever done.
You kind of sunk for a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I remember that because like it instantly like it slapped my back, and so it was hot. It was so hot from the smack that I just wanted to like float a little bit to like cool it down. But then I needed oxygen, so I hit it up for air.
We all thought you just passed out.
I forgot about that, but nah. It was the lifeguards were about to like jump and stuff. It was kind of stupid.
I think they stopped us being able to jump in after that.
Yeah. I think it got me bragging rights for that day, as stupid as it was, but. Nah, heights is definitely a goodie that gets the heart pumping.
Yeah. What's interesting is the height side of things is snowboarding, absolutely fine. I went to Treble Cone down in Queenstown, beautiful mountain. I was going along what's called a cat track, which is like your travel pass across 2 of the runs, and it got to a point where it was almost like those infinity pools where you kind of like never see the end of it. So it was a view like this, and it like just looked like you're about to like just drop off into like there was nothing, and I just froze, and I just like sat back on the snow, and I like kind of had to just like shuffle my way along It's like cat track. I wasn't a very confident snowboarder at the time either, so that didn't help my case. But yeah, it's amazing how like heights can just freeze people completely, and other people just nothing.
Yeah, we should go boarding at some stage. It'd be cracker. Yeah, bro.
That'd be so funny.
How's your concussion these days? Eh?
Yeah, I got cleared off in November, so technically I can't use it as an excuse anymore.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Planning on
talk
going
after
down
this.
September. Yeah,
Oh
sounds
yeah.
great.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about adult fairs, like business fairs,
Adult
life admin.
Ooh.
Like, there's a lot in there because, like, I feel like adult fairs, a lot of it ties into like goals and whatnot. Because, like, when you're young, your fear is tied to, I guess, they're rational fears, but they're more juvenile. They're like, yeah, I'm scared of dogs. I'm scared of the water, you know. But adult fears are much more. It's more about insecurities, you know. It's so let's have a chat about that.
Yeah, well, I guess like for me, one of the biggest fears I know of for a lot of adults is the fear of like going somewhere new. So a lot of people are afraid of going to the gym for a couple of different reasons. One, being judged by all the people that are there, and then two, putting yourself in a foreign environment, kind of the fear of the pain that could potentially come with the workout. But I think definitely the one that stops most people walking into a gym is that fear of the unknown and the fear of being judged by other people, which are pretty massive ones to overcome, in my opinion. Like if you're someone who is so afraid to go somewhere new and you manage to go somewhere new, that's pretty epic. I guess the way to take that on, in my opinion, would be find things that scare you about going places new. It doesn't have to be something. It can be something small to start with. It could be like I've never been to the supermarket before. I'm going to go do my supermarket shop, or I've never been to this ice cream store. I'm going to go get my ice cream. Who would have thought? Personal trainer and indulging in saying, "Go get yourself some ice cream." Uh, but yeah, I think it's taking small steps to get yourself there. It's like when I was teaching myself to not be afraid of dogs. I didn't choose the biggest, scariest dog in the lot. I chose the smallest, least scary, fluffy dog. And a lot of people, we actually use my sister's dog Zuko for that. For a lot of kids, they are afraid of dogs, but they're not afraid of him because he looks like a fluffy white cloud. So it's taking those little steps, and even though an adult fear seems a lot more irrational, we can make it rational by creating steps to overcoming it.
Yeah. I think there's bit by bit you can actually become braver. Jordan Peterson, who a lot of people know, he's a big profile on the internet. He's a clinical psychologist, smart dude. Not everyone agrees with what he says, but he actually knows a lot of stuff. He's an academic, knows his stuff through and through. So he says, don't tell people to like, don't be scared, because that doesn't work. You should incrementally try and make them braver. So if you're scared of needles, say, then get them to imagine a needle, and then get a needle in the room with them, and then get them to touch a needle, and then get them to donate blood. And bit by bit, they build up these skills in order to deal with their fear. They're still fearful, but they get braver in the process, and then they realize they can actually accomplish these feats, whatever domain it's in. So I think that's some good advice that has a pretty good success rate if it's implemented correctly. Then the other one I'd say is competence grows confidence. So if you actually put in the time to do the work, whatever your goal is, maybe it's to get fitter, or just attend the gym, and then you realize it's not so scary. It's not just full of brutes, although there might be one or two in the room. It's for everyone. You can actually realize the gains that come from it, and then you can actually build up that confidence, and then it doesn't become an issue in the first place, or or later on rather. So yeah, I think there's many different ways to attack it, but I quite like how you and I we mentioned we just jumped into our fears and try to go the biggest thing possible in our head to get over it. Well, you with dogs, myself jumping off this bridge down in Queenstown and skydiving, you know, jumping off the diving board at Kilburnie, you know, that's that seems like a positive strategy. The fear's still there, but but it's nice to be able to know and reflect that you can actually do these things, and
Can't
builds your
remember what
confidence moving
superhero.
forward.
There's a superhero that talks about it. I can't remember who it is, but they pretty much said that they're always afraid. Like that you're stupid
Green
if you're not
Lantern?
afraid. Probably.
Was that our
I don't know.
underwater hockey fundraiser? we
I
had
don't know.
Do you
Was it the
remember
Green
that one?
Lantern? Probably
Green
didn't make us
Lantern.
much money.
We had this underwater hockey fundraiser. We invited all our mates, all our family, all our friends, and we must have picked the worst movie to ever hit the
100%.
planet because
Yeah.
it was horrendous. Hey, anyone who's seen the Green
Yeah.
Lantern, like, it's got some stars.
I can't
in
even
it, but
remember it just because it
And-
was that painful.
the budget must have been pretty high for it because its CGI was pretty cool, but the plot and the scripting was horrendous.
Yeah.
And all our mates
not-
sat through it. And we're very lucky to have good friends and family that could bear with us through
Didn't
it all,
ask for their
'cause it
money
was a bit
back.
painful. Yeah.
Like, I know you're fundraising, but
Yeah.
can you?
It was
But yeah,
a
I
challenge
definitely
for all
think.
of us.
Yeah, we overcame our struggles. But yeah, I definitely think like it's kind of like being nervous before going on stage. Like every time I do an event, I get nervous, and a lot of times I'll be afraid of doing something. But it's that whole line. What is the quote? They say, "You can't grow if you don't like put yourself under pressure," type thing. There's a famous quote talks about like struggle creates growth or something cheesy like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I think if you're afraid and it was I remember who it was now. It was Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown, what a
Pretty sure it
guy.
was Charlie Brown. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they talked about how the bravest person is the person constantly in fear
This
because
one.
every day they're getting up and they're facing their fears.
Yeah. I quite like going after hard things. I think there's different people get drawn to different things, and just knowing that something is novel and new and it's going to be tough, like there's a little piece of me that thinks if someone else has done it, then I can do it. Like
Why
if
can't
it's just a little bit of work ethic. Like how hard can it be?
Yeah.
Like it's the fear doesn't really come into it as much. The things I'm fearful of, here's the big ones, is if like my family gets sick, like seriously sick, you know, that's scary to me, and I can't do anything about it. If someone's seriously in trouble and I can't do anything about it, like if I hear a scream on the end of a phone and I'm not there, you know, that is like one of those heart-sinking moments, and it's happened once or twice in my life, and I remember those days very vividly, you know. But there's when you've been through some hardships and when you've been through some challenges, some things don't seem as relevant or scary anymore. It's not to say that I've had the most challenging upbringing or anything like that, but I've always tried to go for hard things, hard, challenging goals that meant that I'd have to stretch myself, whether that's in the sporting realm when I was playing underwater hockey. I've done CrossFit. I didn't rep CrossFit or anything, but I've always enjoyed that feeling of pushing my body to the limits. I went for this, I went to the sports science lab and I got my heart rate to over 200. That's not healthy, especially for an extended period of time. But I like that feeling of pushing myself physically and also mentally.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in university again. I like reading a lot. I like thinking of how can I gain new skills, and I love that studying and watching YouTube videos and talking to smart people. I like that challenge because that allows me to hopefully be more productive in the future and help other people. But it doesn't come from a place of fear as such. So that those whole new domains, those challenging areas, they've always excited me, and I don't know how to teach it because I think it's quite easy to spot when you're in the two camps, whether you're fearful of new things and whether you're apprehensive about going into new places and meeting new people, or you're in the other camp where you like those new situations and new challenges. And I think, a lot of it. I think some of it is fear of failure. That's quite a big one amongst people, and like you said before, fear of feeling judged by other people. It's all that packaged up. I just don't know how to get someone out of that headspace and into that other headspace, because I think once you've made the transition, it's so beneficial.
I don't even know if it is a transitional thing, because I'm very similar to you, where I like to, like you were saying, you love to challenge yourself. I think mine's always been a deep-rooted thing of being the youngest child. I've always got to prove myself. I've had my family members are all like done pretty well for themselves. Like they're all quite successful in what they do, and so you don't want to have the shadow override you. So you've got to step up and do things that they couldn't do, or you do things that they could do better. So you're constantly trying to prove yourself and prove people wrong. That's why I started running recently in the last couple of years, because I wanted to prove to everybody that I could run, and I could run decently well. So I wouldn't say I'm a pro runner, but I've definitely gotten to a point now where I'm faster than your average person, and I can hold a reasonably steady pace for a reasonable amount of time, especially for a guy who weighs 100 kilos. But when it comes to triple figures, baby. But the people who I might get killed for saying this, but Bex, my I should say fiance, because I get told off the same partner. Not by her, by her friends. They're like, you've got to say what she is.
Come on, Dev.
Yeah,
exactly.
That.
Don't confuse people out
she's
there.
Someone who's she's a creature of habit. From what I've found, is that she likes to keep her routines. So I've got the fitness portal. We probably started dating 6 months into me opening the fitness portal. It took her over 6 months to do a workout in the gym, in my gym. She's a gym bunny. She gyms 5 a.m. every morning, every day of the week, and it took her 6 months to come do a workout at my gym. And it's only taken 2.5 years for her to regularly use the gym. And it's because of a circumstance change. Like it made logistical sense to her to come into the gym. And I said to her, "Oh, why are you like? Why did you decide to suddenly like you feel okay now working out here?" She said, "Oh, it's a logistical change, and now I'm actually quite enjoying it. So probably won't go back to my other gym, or maybe I will. I don't know. We'll find out what happens when the time changes." But it wasn't a case like she said she does. If we go on holiday, she doesn't want to go try and do a workout. I love going out and checking out new gyms. I love going to other CrossFits. I love going and doing Olympic weightlifting sessions, and I want to try places out. But to her, it sounds like the worst thing possible on a holiday, because she's got to scope out this new gym. She's got to figure out what everything is. She doesn't want to go in and make a dick of herself. Whereas I'm in like, where's the heaviest weights and how high can I throw them to prove that I'm the biggest guy in the gym right now?
We just get bored too easy, Dev.
Yeah, exactly. I can't sit and relax for 3 hours. I'm like,
we're always looking around.
This?
Where's the next thing? I'm bored.
Yeah, where's the next challenge? Bring it on. Bring it.
Yeah.
So I definitely think I think for a lot of people who you were saying, there's those two kind of brains. You got the two camps. You got camp, I want to prove myself. I want to keep myself entertained. I've got to keep challenging myself. And then you've got the camp of I'm actually quite content or a little bit nervous to go try new things because you're afraid of failure. And maybe I don't know if this is right, but maybe the cue for you is that preparing yourself for all the possibilities so that you can feel a bit more in control. Because my theory is that it's a loss of control that gives them the fear. Whereas, it could just be a case of preparing yourself and getting ready for that change and knowing all the possible outcomes and being okay with those possible outcomes, because failure is quite scary, but failure is how you learn. Like, you're not gonna improve yourself personally if you keep succeeding.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say about control. I definitely think there's an element of that, and we automatically think of the worst possible situation as well in our heads, especially when we're going for something new. And very rarely, if we put in the effort and do the right steps, put in the right moves, very rarely does the worst possible outcome eventuate. So if you set the worst possible outcome as the baseline of what could happen, and if that's not actually so bad, then everything from there is upside. There's opportunity cost, and you have to take into account your time and your resources and what else you could be doing. But if there's something in your gut that says you should be doing something, normally our gut is pretty right about these things. So jump into it, dive head first, see where you land, meet good people in that area. Hopefully they can help you out. Surround yourself with a good circle, and normally works out okay, I've found.
Yeah.
As long as
you feel like you've landed on your feet pretty well.
Yeah. As long as you're not like hanging around the wrong crew or getting mixed up in illegal activities or whatever, like excluding all that stuff, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. I always rely on that. We just do the best we can with the tools we've got. So
something that my mother's classic line is, "This too shall pass."
This too shall pass.
She's been saying that for 64 years now, and it's still going strong.
Still rings true. You want to hear my mother saying? You'll love this one.
Oh, go for it. I love it.
She says, "Life's a bitch, and then you die." So it doesn't even matter anyway. That's what she's been telling me since day dot.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Look how you turned out.
Yeah. Life's a bitch, and then you die.
Yeah.
I swear often I wanted to quote her properly. So
that's brilliant. I'm gonna remember that one.
Yeah. She'll be proud of me for putting that one up, or maybe not for saying it publicly, but oh well, it's out there now.
It's on the internet. It's never going away now.
Exactly. It's documented. She'll be right.
Yeah.
she'll build a bridge and get over it. Nah, she's good. She's good value. Mum's a weapon, eh? She's awesome. She's one of my idols. She gets stuff done.
Oh,
but nah, I'm a big fan. Everyone should be a big fan of their mothers, I feel. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be around, Yeah.
True.
I think one of the biggest fears I have is if like I pissed off my family. Like if they didn't talk to me for some reason or other, like I'd probably talk to them, I don't know, once every 2 days minimum.
Yeah.
It's my brothers, my mum, my dad, it'll be a bad day the day that I can't talk to them, mate.
Yeah, I'm the same. We've got the family group chat going, and we always send our yarns and all that sort of stuff, have family gatherings. We actually started a new routine called sibling dinners, where we go around to each other's house and make each other dinner.
Oh, that's cute. That's good.
But I'd definitely say my biggest fear is similar to yours, where like not having family, but mine's actually generally just being alone. Like I don't enjoy being in my own company for long extended periods of time. I don't know why that is. Never really dug deep enough to figure it out.
Bro, we're so
I guess
wired
I'm.
the same, eh?
Yeah.
I hate being
I said
alone,
to
eh?
I said to Bex, I was like, "How do you put up with me? Because I find myself extremely annoying." I mean, yeah, it's more I get too much time to think, and if
Yeah.
I'm with someone, I'm quite content. I don't have to be talking, but I can sit there content with them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the worst thing I think I was thinking about doing like Spirit of Adventure or something like that, and then I heard about you had to go in like the forest for 2 days on your own. I was like, nope, I'm out, can't do it. That's the one fear I haven't yet taken head on, is like spending time by myself for an extended period of time.
Probably 5 years ago, I said to someone, I'd rather spend like my time with someone who I didn't really like than spend time alone. But since
Yeah,
then, I've come up with ways to entertain myself, come up with projects and different ways
yeah.
to
As long
keep the
as you're
brain
busy, right?
going. So yeah. So I suppose I just can't leave my brain dormant for too long. I need to be stimulated. But
Yeah,
people is the best way. But
yeah.
when people don't want to hang out, you need to find other ways to keep entertained. So
Pets are
yeah,
great. Pets are good.
pets are good, but I've always thought they're admin. You know, like it's a stepping stone to kids. I get that, and if you
Yeah,
want kids, happy days. But it's a bit work.
yeah.
I'm sure it's a loving pet that you have, and it brings you great joy. But that's one of the genuine reasons I wouldn't get a pet at the moment.
Well, to be honest, that's why Bex and I decided not to get a pet, is because we
I
decided
thought you
that
have
we
one.
wouldn't be able to do it justice. Oh, we got sea monkeys. They don't really
You have the dog.
count. Oh, that's my sister's dog. So I'm great at being a dog sitter.
Ah,
Yeah. So Zuko's my sister's dog.
it's a front. You post
Yeah.
on Instagram all the time. I thought it was your dog.
I haven't recently. I haven't seen him in like a good long time. She's moved to Upper Hutt. It's so far away.
I thought it was your pup.
Yeah. It's all
I
a
feel like
lie.
I've been lied to for the last 2 years.
A lot of people have.
Oh well, the world knows the truth now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fears. Yeah, I think everyone has them, but I think a lot of the time they're just inside your own head. It's there's
Yeah.
many solutions out there, and the good thing about today's world is there's many ways to find solutions to these
Yeah.
fears. If you jump online, it, Google's all like a lot of the time. Google can get you a long way. Google, YouTube, you can figure stuff out. And you can do a bit of research before you jump into the deep end. You don't have to dive in head first with no resources and no knowledge of what you're jumping into. So I think that that helps in engaging the logical part of your brain, because otherwise the irrational part of the brain will just take over, because we're emotional creatures.
Yeah. Exactly. You can be prepared, or if you're like me and Jason, just go head first and see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting. Me and my brother, we're great pals. I love him to bits, but our brains are wired completely different. So we learned snowboarding at the same time, right? And
Oh no.
he um he's quite methodical, and so he did the mature thing and got lessons. And I said, see you later, mate, I'm up the mountain. And so I took the ski lift up to the top and just tried to find my way down, and there's a couple of times I could have come off the edge of the mountain, but just fell on my face, crashed a few times. Me him at the bottom, he's like, oh, how'd you turn? And I was like, what? You know how to turn? He's like, yeah, I learned in the lesson. And I was like, I'll find my way. And eventually I learned how to turn, but the
Yeah.
easiest way to stop was just to land face first and roll down the hill a bit and then get back up. So No, he swears that he can beat me down the mountain. We've each had a couple of trips without each other, so we've got this challenge going. We haven't been able to meet
Oh, I
up because
love
of
it.
COVID, so we've
Yeah.
missed each other. He's gone up north to Ruapehu. I've gone to like Cadrona and stuff, and hopefully next time
So
we
good.
meet, it'll be at the mountain. But yeah,
Yeah.
different ways to attack these fears or
Yeah.
challenges, learning new
Yeah.
skills. There's many ways to roam. Find your way, wherever you feel comfortable with. But I think it's a terrible thing when your fears stop you from getting you to your goals and dreams. I think that's you get one life, plain
Yeah.
and simple. There's no round two, so you may as well go for it.
Yeah. Go for the KO.
Go for the KO. Exactly.
Yeah.
Go for the knockout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have a bit of fun in the process.
Mm. Enjoy.
But anything to add, Dev? We've been going for almost 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, I think we covered this topic pretty well today.
Yeah. We're pretty thorough. No questions out there. We had lower viewership than last time.
No.
That's all good. All part of the game. But always good to have a yarn for almost an hour and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Optimistic struggles, eh? It's always good fun. Have a journey. But it's I think, this whole fear thing, it's normal, it's natural. Everyone goes through it. People go through highs and lows. You might be like full of yourself one year, and then next year something happens, you split up with your girlfriend, or you get into financial strife and your self-confidence gets knocked out of you, and then you're fearful of a lot of things. So I don't think it's worth it to judge anyone about their fears. Everyone's got their own stuff going on. Rich people have rich people problems. People can be perceived as the most confident person on the outside, but on the inside they're this trembling child on the inside. So no judgment. It's just we're all on our own journeys.
Yeah, never judge a book by its cover.
Indeed. All right, I think we might call it a day, unless you want to say anything.
No, I think you covered it. Did a nice little close there.
I did quite well, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did a great job. Pat yourself on the back, Jason.
We'll call it a day there. Yeah, let's call it there. Well, it's been fun, fam. We'll be back in another fortnight or so. It's, I don't know what next time's topic will be. Any ideas, Dev?
I think we should just see what the moment brings upon us.
Righto. Until next time, we'll catch you all. Laters. Peace.
Later.